I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your feeder flash for Thursday, June the 15th, brought to you in part by the new Nasalgen, Bovolus Nasalgen 3 PMH. It's the first and only intranasal vaccine with both viral and bacterial pneumonia protection in one dose. Also has a unique blue shadow on those that you've treated so you can keep track of them. For more information, go to unmatchedprotection.com. Feeders lose $35 a head through next spring. You think, how does that figure out? Well, very, very consistent losses on your feeder cattle futures market. $4 to $4.50 pretty much straight through as far as the contracts go. Now, how could it be that consistent? It just seems like Chicago just wanted to take $4 and change off of your feeder cattle market forever, for as far as the eye could see. Now, I'm not saying it's that big of a deal because your August feeder cattle are still, even after being down $4.55 on Wednesday, they're still $10, more than $10 higher than your real-time index, which is a cash index and it's up to date. Not quite that much higher than your CME cash feeder cattle index, but it's only up through Monday. By the time it reaches where your real-time index is, it's always up to date and current, it'll be that much too. So yes, your future delivery feeder cattle are higher. It needs to be up there a little bit, but pulling it down is not that big a deal. But do they all need to be down $4 to $4.50? And your live cattle contracts were pretty consistently lower like that too, from $2 to $3 lower. It seems like the powers that be in your cattle futures, which there's not that really that many of them, it's mostly funds and things like that, decided just to take her down a notch. Take your live cattle futures down a couple bucks and take your feeder cattle down $4 or more. And I'm not sure what the deal is on the live cattle. We've now got June live cattle trading about 177.5. They sold some cattle on Wednesday at 188 in the northern plains. You know, that's a $9 basis there. Did they think that the basis wasn't big enough? I'm not sure. The southern plains is not traded yet, but you know, it's sure going to be 184, you would think. I think they bid 182 on the online sale and nobody took that, but I'm not sure why they decided to take that down. Looked around and did some investigating through some technical analysts, and they didn't know either. They decided to whack her down a notch there. Corn was off a little bit and didn't respond like we thought it would. Here it is, June the 15th, and we still haven't seen significant rain in the central and eastern corn belt. That's kind of what they've been looking at for the last week or two, is we were expected to have significant rain that needs to happen in central and eastern corn belt, and we haven't seen it. They get a little shower here and there, but you get into wet country, which I used to live in wet country. You're about a week away from a drought all the time. It takes an inch a week just to keep up, and they're not doing it. The eastern half of the country is drier than normal, and the western half of the country is wetter than normal. And we don't see that very often unless your Ninos are adding up just right. But we're enjoying it over here on the western side, and I've been up through the whole western side of the United States. It looks fantastic and everybody's happy to be there. Eastern side's not keeping up, but I wouldn't bet against those farmers out there. They know what they're doing. They're going to make a big crop, guys. I'll give a little bit of news that I saw online. Walmart is going to be building a $257 million beef packaging plant, and that's going to be near Kansas City, Olathe, Kansas. So, that's going to be handling and doing further processing to beef. A good percentage of the beef that comes there is going to be coming out of the new plant that's going to be coming online, sustainable beef out of North Platte, Nebraska. And so they're supposed to open around 2025. And so that's I thought that was pretty good news. What I was surprised to see is so many haters on that. Oh my gosh, Walmart, what are they doing in there? Well, if it was a Piggly Wiggly finishing plant that went on to take beef packaging further, I don't think it would handle near as much stuff, guys. And then people were knocking sustainable beef for taking their investment. So Walmart took a minority investment into sustainable beef up there in North Platte, Nebraska. It helped them get over the finish line to get this plant going. And plus, they got them on as a customer for the best feeder cattle in the world, and they're going to take the best feeder cattle in the world to a very high quality. Then they're going to put programs on them, bells and whistles, and then they're going to qualify for Walmart's best beef. And they're going to be taking that and then further processing that and packaging it in Olathe, Kansas. What's bad about that? Well, Walmart's going to be making money. No shit. Walmart makes a lot of money. And one reason that they make so much money is, for the most part, they don't pay for their inventory till after they've sold it. Well, good for them. They're making big money, but I don't know how you can cuss Walmart. If Walmart don't have it, you don't need it for the most part. I saw people online saying, I would never eat beef from Walmart. Really? Here at my house, we don't put a whole beef in the freezer anymore. My family's slimming down. It's just me and my youngest daughter for the most part, and I'm gone most of the time. So, I buy beef. I buy beef at Walmart all the time. They've got CAB beef cheaper than you can buy it anywhere else. Well, it doesn't get that much better than certified Angus beef, guys. That's about as good as it gets. You can go to a Ruth's Chris or somewhere, and the way that they prepare it, where they sear it and lock all the juices in, that's good. But as far as a cut of beef, a steak, it doesn't get much better than certified Angus beef. It really doesn't get any better. And they offer it there at the most reasonable price that you can get it for. Why would you not buy it from them? Now, I on the other hand, I don't buy ground beef from Walmart because I've sat through enough weigh-up cow sales that I don't want to eat most of those. I'd buy my ground beef from a local supplier, or sometimes I go to West Texas A&M and go to the meat lab out there. They've got a retail store there. They don't slaughter cows there. They only slaughter steers and heifers. I want my ground beef to come off something young too, and I want it sweet and grain-fed. I don't want the crippled cow that's hoof was held together by a piece of duct tape. I know that's what feeds the masses, but I just don't understand people's thinking on stuff here. Going to talk about something that is personal here, but Bryce Pruitt is a friend of mine. He was a cowboy, worked in the yards at the St. Joe Stockyards. Younger fella, pretty good kid there, a hard worker, and we affectionately called him Eagle. My old buddy Tom Mathewson nicknamed him Eagle, and a lot of us called him Eagle. But he worked around St. Joe Stockyards for many years there. Had a young family. He like a lot of us, he respected Bob Foote, the late Bob Foote. And he took a challenge from Bob Foote and went out to northwestern Kansas and worked in one of Bob Foote's feedlots. And he learned a lot out there. He stayed for quite a while, but his roots pulled him back to northwest Missouri, and he had the young family that he brought back. In recent years, he's been working at Maryville Livestock Auction that Tommy Runyon has opened up there. But a pretty good guy there, and he was a friend of mine, and guy knew how to keep a secret. And if for that only, I owed him a little memorial here as he passed away way ahead of his time, not even 40 years old. And he had a reaction to some medicine that they gave him and lost his life. So just thinking about my friend Bryce Pruitt. Don't forget to get into the Punchy Pick contest. We're already half through this month, so we'll be gathering those up here before long. On the last day of the month here on the Feeder Flash, we'll be giving the winners, and there's really just one grand prize winner for the Punchy Pick of the month. He gets a whole case of Therapies. Everybody's wanting Therapies. They're finally learning how valuable it is, how it works on these light unweaned calves, calms them down, gets them to eating. They're not worried. They don't walk the fences and bawl quite so much, and it is a valuable tool, guys. But you can get Therapies online, but if you win the Punchy Pick contest, you'll get a whole case of it for the grand prize, plus some really cool swag from Beaver Feed in Beaver, Oklahoma, and the Beaver County Stockyards. But if you got a cool Punchy Pick, send it to punchy@nationalbeefwire.com. Talk about your board, which I've already talked about it some, but on Wednesday, June live cattle futures, and there's only 12 days left of it, guys. It was down $1.97 at 177.45. The cattle market in the Northern Plains, we haven't established it yet. The latest established was 190, and the lowest was 185 in the Southern Plains. If it's not going to converge, what good is it? And if they won't change it where they can demand delivery on there, maybe it needs to be cash settled. I don't know. It's just not working though. August live cattle down 295 at 170.97. You think we're going to fall that hard that fast on dwindling supplies of market ready cattle? I don't think so. Back months on live cattle down $1.97 to down 290. August feeder cattle down 455 at 235.90. September down 427 at 239.12. Back months on feeder cattle down 405 to down 467. Your fat cattle trade, we did start to see a little bit of trade happen on a direct basis out in your 5-area feeding region. We still haven't established what the market's going to be, but Iowa had confirmed sales on Wednesday of about 2,000 head. And 181 to 188. It was mostly 188 there. But dress sales keeping right up, 287 to $3. That's close to what they brought last week. Packers are really trying to put out the mentality that they don't need the cattle, and they were so short bought just a few days ago, but now all of a sudden they don't need them anymore. I've already told you guys, this year they are going to have to shop from 700,000 fewer finished cattle to fill their needs. I'm not sure how good that Packer mentality is going to work, guys. Nebraska, 1,600 head confirmed on Wednesday, 185 to 188. We haven't seen anything take place in Kansas or Texas, but I told you that we saw 182 bid online. They had a hold on them higher than that. Sioux Falls Regional Livestock, Worthing, South Dakota, had a fat cattle auction on Wednesday. They sold them $2 to $5 lower, from 180 to 187. Packers have done a really good job of holding their cards up to their chest. They haven't got too aggressive, and we're over halfway through the week here. They haven't showed their hand at the fat cattle auctions that are big enough to make a difference. They're just planning on the guys giving up. They've used their influence to get the board pushed down, and so they're hoping they'll have some basis jumpers here. But with not very many days left on your board, guys, and your cattle sellers knowing how short bought they are, I tell you what, I'm thinking we're probably going to be close to steady this week. Box beef cutout values were mixed. Choice cuts up another $1.07 at $339.06. Selects down 22 cents at $309.26. $309.26. Your slaughter, 374,000 through the first 3 days of the week. That's 4,000 more than last week, 3,000 more than the same week a year ago. Talk about what else is going on. Livestock Risk Services with Dakota Moss. They are your LRP specialists, and they keep up with that stuff. I get emails from Dakota Moss and his crew all the time telling me any tweaks and changes that they have in your LRP. They've had a change here. You're not going to have to own them quite as long as what they normally mandate, because some places have gotten dry, and the western United States is not really much so dry, but the eastern side is. But he'll keep you up to date on that stuff, and that's what he does all the time. So if you have any questions, you just call them and they'll answer it, and it's no big deal there, guys. Talk about your feeder cattle market. Your real-time index on DV auction late in the day on Wednesday, sitting at 224.59, down 12 cents. So it wasn't terrible. Down just 12 cents, but still 224.5 on an 800-pound steer on the average. Pretty good price there. Don't forget, here today on Thursday, Elite Livestock Sales. My buddies down there in Montgomery Stockyard area, or Montgomery, Alabama area, used to be at the Montgomery Stockyards. Jerry Etheridge and Daryl Stokes and the whole gang, Wesley Grantham. They're going to be having their online video board sale, and it's going to be today on Thursday at 3 o'clock Central. So get on there early, get on to dvauction.com, look at the videos they'll have posted. They'll have everything about the cattle on there. They're going to have 30 loads, 26 loads of green grass yearlings, where you're going to find them right now, and then 4 loads of verified calves. So get on there to Elite Livestock Sales here this afternoon on Thursday. Talk about your big sales on Wednesday. OKC West, El Reno, Oklahoma, 9,000 head. Feeder steers were steady to $4 lower. Feeder heifers were steady to $3 higher for the most part. Calves were $5 to $8 lower. Stick out sale in El Reno was 54 steers, weighed 9 1/4 and bring 218.50. Nothing to sneeze at. How about Winter Livestock in Dodge City, Kansas? Lighter run for them, 1,500 head. Feeders were $3 to $4 lower. They're having lighter runs, and they will through July. Dodge City and Winter Livestock and Pratt also are already preparing for their big celebration for the King of the Ring, which will be the last week in July. So they'll likely be off for the 4th of July and then have lighter receipts, because they are getting ready for that. That's when they have the Cattle Marketing Hall of Fame and everything that goes with. They've got a big High Plains video that week. So I imagine a lot of their customers will be holding off until then. Your National Beef Wire stick-out sale of the day was Stockman's Livestock Market in Yankton, South Dakota. Not the fat cattle sale, the feeder cattle sale. Had 5,600 on the automated market report. They put a few more through than that, but as of now, we don't put the cattle weighing over 1,000, the feeders weighing over 1,000 in our feeder cattle market report. We may need to change that. Not sure, but you look at this automated market report, when it had at least 5,600 through there, but 416 head of 6-weight steers averaged 634 with a weighted average price of $279.10. 849 head of 8-weight steers in Yankton on Wednesday averaged 856 pounds with a weighted average price of $222.43. 1,853 head of 9-weight steers in Yankton, South Dakota had an average weight of 954 pounds and a weighted average price of $215.34. My goodness, how about the heifers? 662 head of 8-weight heifers averaged $869, average price $204.62, and 398 head of 9-weight heifers averaged $940, average price $193.78. Give you a few individual quotes. How about Parsons, Kansas? Parsons Livestock Auction on Wednesday sold 120 head of 895-pound steers at $225 1/4. Be pretty stiff right there. How about Springfield Livestock Marketing Center? They've been a DV auction broadcaster for a long time. They have sales almost every day of the week. They have a separate day for their cows, separate day for feeders. They have a dairy sale there. It's a big marketing center there in Springfield, Missouri. 89 steer calves were weaned, weighed 619 at $285.50. Wow. But the most impressive quote that I saw anywhere on Wednesday, your Mackerson No BS stick out sale of the day, or top quote for the day. I keep getting those mixed up. Mackerson, no BS, top quote for the day. Indeed come out of Yankton, South Dakota, which was also our stick out sale of the day. It was 61 steer calves, weighed 6 1/4 at $2.98. And that's your feeder flash for Thursday.